Hello and welcome to this special episode of T3N TV. We are here at the Online Marketing Rockstars in Hamburg, Germany, and on my side is Fishkin, the former CEO of Moz. This is actually the first topic I would like to talk to you about because I read the story you stepping down from your role as the CEO, and this is kind of, well, I didn't expect this because Moz has always been about Fishkin. So what were your reasons to step down?
Yeah, I founded the company many years ago and have been the CEO for quite a long time now. And I think the responsibilities that a CEO has at the size we're at, right, 135 people, scaling, past 30 million in annual revenue, are about a lot of things that I don't actually particularly love. Yeah. I don't have a ton of passion around yet. You know what I'm passionate about, right? I love SEO, I love social media, I love content marketing. I love learning and sharing with marketers. I really enjoy blogging. I'm also very passionate about building software, designing products, those kinds of things. But a CEO at our stage needs to be great at things like, people management, a lot of human resources related tasks. And these are things that I really felt that Sarah Bird, who's been our COO for the last 6 years, was stronger at. Okay. So I think it made a lot of sense. And I'm hopeful that it frees me from some of the obligations of things I don't love and lets me focus on things that I'm really good at.
Okay, and what's the title of your new role, and what are you actually doing on a day-to-day basis?
Sure. I've taken the title individual contributor.
Nice.
Yeah, nice and low profile, but I'm still using Wizard of Moz a little bit. And on a day-to-day, I'll tell you the weird thing, it hasn't changed very much, quite honestly. So, I have to sign a little bit less paperwork. I have a few less obligations in terms of one-on-one meetings with the executive team, a little bit less in terms of reporting, and a good bit less in terms of, I would say, people issues, right? So, someone's having a challenging time in their role, they're working with their manager, they're working with the CEO to try and figure that. Great, you guys go take care of that. I'm really doing a lot of things that I have always done. So a lot of learning and social sharing, blogging, obviously speaking, conferences and events. I'm still doing a lot of product work, right? So digging into, what's the next generation of our ranking system going to look like? How are we going to get the Mozscape index to better index European websites? Those types of things. I love that stuff. So, yeah.
Okay, and there has been a lot of rumors about you stepping back because some thought that you might want to sell the company in the future years. You talked about the probability of an IPO in the future in the blog post you published. So what's about that? Is there a sale coming? Is an IPO coming? What's about that?
Well, I can tell you quite honestly, right, and very transparently, we've only ever had 2 real offers historically, and neither of them were commensurate with what we would actually sell for. So, and these are actually years ago. I think one of them was 2011, and the other one was like 2007 or 8. Yeah. So, I don't suspect we're going to sell. Actually, I don't think that, Moz makes a ton of sense for a lot of companies to acquire. That being said, it's always possible, right? We want to leave ourselves open to the idea if it's a perfect match. But I see us, and I think Sarah sees us as really being a company that wants to operate independently. Okay. Right? We have this unique culture, tag fee. We want to stay with that. And so an IPO is the best way to preserve our independence.
Okay, then let's just skip this topic and go back to your talk you just held about the future of SEO. Yeah. Can you, just for all of those who had not the opportunity to listen to you, just briefly tell us what this was all about?
Sure. So essentially what we're seeing in 2014 from Google is an evolution of things that we've seen over the past 5 years. And some of those are, changes to how search results are done. Some of them are changes to how rankings and keyword interpretations are done. Some of them are changes to how analytics, what can be measured and can't. And so I tried to provide a broad perspective on those things during the talk here, as well as some specific strategic and tactical takeaways that marketers can put into place, right? Things around how to understand SEO in the context of your marketing funnel, as opposed to just saying, I want to rank for these keywords. Tactical things like producing better content and smaller amounts of it rather than just more content, which has historically been something SEOs have done, and why those things make sense.
Okay, the opposite of you telling everyone, okay, you need to produce high quality content and better less content, is people talking about the importance of freshness of content right now. So what's your take on this?
There are certainly areas. I think if you are in a field and a sphere where you know that your audience particularly is paying attention to every news item, every update about a particular topic, then yes, I think it can make sense to target fresh content. But I still would urge you, rather than, let's say you're writing about, sneakers, right, shoes, and Adidas comes out with some new line, I would not write 10 blog posts about the new line and have one for each kind of shoe. And I would try and produce the one article that everyone who cares about the shoes wants to read. And that's really the difference.
And in your talk, you talked about the visual changes in the Google layout. What can companies actually do right now to improve their click-through rate if they want to use those visual changes?
Yeah, so in most of these cases, not all of them, knowledge graph being an outlier and an exception, the carousel, the local carousel being a little frustrating as well, but you can influence a lot of these rich results, right? So the rel author markup, that's something where you connect your Google Plus account, you can do that. Video XML sitemaps can get you the video snippet. There's rich snippets of all different kinds and varieties. Schema.org walks through a lot of these. And so I urge marketers to go, make sure you're doing a concerted effort to look at what's in the search results you care about, and then go figure out, now, which one of these can I hit? Where can I make a difference?
Another point you were talking about is that marketing teams, or not SEO teams, should not only focus on people doing SEO, or not should be all about SEOs.
Yeah.
What's behind that?
Well, so I have worked with many teams of SEOs over my career, and I get to talk to and interact with a lot of people at brands, at consultancies and agencies, at small businesses, at startups. And one of the challenges that I see time and again is that those who are focused exclusively on SEO often don't get two things. They don't get the respect and the influence with other teams that they need to make a difference, and they also don't have the empathy and the breadth of awareness to make intelligent decisions, trade-offs between the right thing for SEO and what sometimes might be the right thing for branding or other forms of marketing, right? Email marketing, content marketing, social media marketing. I think when you have a holistic understanding of all of these channels and depth in that SEO field is when you can have the best impact.
And what's about link building? I mean, we read a lot about the link networks in French and in Germany.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the link building in, let's say, 2020?
2020 is a long way off. I would say for the next 3 or 4 years, we're going to see the same trend we've seen over the last 3 or 4, which is essentially that link networks, manipulative link schemes, links that are not editorially given, get less and less weight, and that Google is taking harsher, more consistent action against sites that use those. This is especially dangerous if you are a startup, an early stage company, or a company that is an SMB, small, medium business, as opposed to a big brand. Big brands, unfortunately, can get away with a lot of bad link building, right? And they might get penalized for a few days or a few weeks or whatever, they'll come back. Yeah. Small, medium businesses, startups, forget it. You're out, you're out. And I think that trend will continue.
Yeah, yeah. And if you look at the ranking factors that may replace links, what are those? We talked a lot about the author tag and
Sure.
and everything related to it, but what's the next big thing?
So I have seen more and more of Google using semantic analysis and mentions. So essentially, let's go back to our Adidas example. If Google starts to see that when people mention soccer shoes, football shoes, right? Adidas is more mentioned with that term than Nike, than Reebok. You might start to see Adidas's rankings rise, even though their links may not reflect that, right? And it might not be that the anchor text, football shoes is what's propelling them. It could be, well, this brand is most often mentioned with this keyword, so we think at Google that's more relevant. I think that's one we could see. I do see also more influence from user and usage data signals. So essentially when Google looks at what are people searching for, what brands and topics are connected in people's searches, that's influencing that powerfully as well. And that speaks to the influence that brand campaigns will have on SEO in the future.
So that means that the mention building of the future will be basically brand building.
Who knows, right? So we could see television, right? Radio, print becoming mediums where SEO is necessary, which is really interesting, very different, but powerful to think about as an SEO.
Okay, thanks a lot for your answers. I hope you have a nice day here in Germany. So enjoy the rest of the Online Marketing Rockstars and see you next time.
Awesome. Take care.